The Guild is Maximum Lawyers' community of legal entrepreneurs who are taking their businesses and lives to the next level. As a Guild member, you'll build relationships, be held accountable, and learn strategies specifically designed to get you unstuck and accelerate your plan for growth. Members are also granted exclusive access to masterminds hosted around the country. Our next event is coming up, and we're heading to Scottsdale, Arizona. There's something truly magical about the power of these in-person connections where real-time breakthroughs happen. Picture this. You're surrounded by like-minded law firm owners tackling your business and mindset challenges together. The energy is electric, the insights are transformative, and the results are game-changing. Investing in yourself is the best decision you'll ever make. The knowledge, strategies, and breakthroughs you'll gain are priceless assets that will supercharge your practice and propel you forward. Join the Guild and secure your ticket to Scottsdale at the best possible price by visiting maxlawevents.com. In today's episode, we're sharing a presentation from MaxLawCon 2021. Keep listening to hear Brendan Ruane as we share his talk, Color Theory. You can also head to the Maximum Lawyer YouTube channel to watch the full video. Now, to the episode.
Run your law firm the right way. This is the Maximum Lawyer Podcast. Your hosts, Jim Hacking and Tyson Mutrux. Let's partner up and maximize your firm. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, everybody. I know that everybody's eager to get to lunch, so I'm going to try to make this quick, but I think you'll get some good stuff out of this. Has anybody seen these? We have them over at our booth. These are these little fidget pop toys. Kids love these things now. They're all the rage. And the reason, because it's a sensory reaction that they get. It's a little piece of plastic, but you'll be amazed at how quiet kids will be in a car, how they won't fight as long as each kid has one. So if you'd like any of these, we have a bunch at our booth. Please stop by. But I just want you to understand that we're going to be talking about sensory perceptions and things today when it comes to color. So your eye is constantly scanning and bringing in new information, and you're constantly evaluating that information. What do you guys think about that guy? You've already made judgments about him in an instant. Does he look weird? Is he funny? He's got a weird hat on. So you make really quick snap judgments when you see a person's face. Now, generally, it's in 100 milliseconds. That's 1/10 of a second. It's very fast to come up with, but it's a survival technique. It's how we learned who we could trust, out in the wild, in caveman days. You're constantly doing this, even though it's unconscious to you. Now, 100 milliseconds, 1/10 of a second. What's it like on web pages? The amazing thing is, even though that web page has a ton of content on it, you will make a determination on a web page in 17 to 50 milliseconds. That's up to 6 times faster than you would a person face to face. So it's instantaneous on a screen. It's the way that the eye reacts. So what the eye sees, the ear hears, the mind believes. This is how magicians make you think magic happens. It's not actually magic. It's sleight of hand. They're using your senses against you. So the question is, how can we use that to our advantage? So when we talk about color perception, there's the physical, which is the actual, here's a red ball, okay? Then you have the perception in the eye, and then that comes through into psychological, which is, now in my mind, I know that's a red ball. That's where the cognition of, that's what I've determined. The real thing we want to look at, from existence to detection to the meaning, we really want to focus on detection, because this is where we can use those sleight of hand tricks like magicians to actually help you guys out. I want you to take a minute in the middle, try to break up between the two slides, but just stare at the X in the middle there, and you're going to see a phenomenon. So you've got those fuchsia dots, and they're blinking. So what did you see? Did anybody see anything besides the fuchsia dots? What did you see?
I saw like an aqua blue, picture of aqua blue.
Exactly. There's an aqua blue dot there. Now, what that actually is, when your eye receives a ton of one color, there's an effect called dominant color eye exhaustion. Your eye is overloaded, the cones in your eye. So what happens is it creates a complementary halo effect. That complementary halo effect is actually the opposite color on the RGB color wheel. Basically, what is happening is that magenta and the lime, they're opposite. Your eye is being overloaded with one, and so it's seeking out the opposite so it can rest. It's inverse because the eye wants to be in balance. Now, the amazing thing is there's no lime on there. This is another one. Let's do it with red. Now, if you stare at the X on this one, give it a minute or two, and you will start to see something else. Anybody see another color yet? Raise your hand if you do. Aqua blue. So on that one, you have to remember, that's the opposite end of the spectrum. The human eye is jumping 3 times a second to capture visual information, and you're processing that in real time. The eye wants to find that complementary color because it's overloaded. It actually needs to find that complementary color because it's so overloaded, it needs that to rest. So the question becomes, how can you take that to your advantage?
Have you ever felt overwhelmed with everything there is to do within your legal practice? How do you keep up with your legal work while making time for growing your practice and attracting clients? Do important things like deadlines and even your family fall through the cracks? This is why you should join us at the #1 conference for legal entrepreneurs, Max LawCon. We're going to be focused on helping practices scale and bringing calm to the order. This conference is curated in order to accelerate your implementation. Based on where you are in your legal practice, we're going to help you identify exactly what is most important right now. When you leave Max LawCon, you go home with complete clarity, focus, and a plan to make 2022 your best year ever. And not only your best year in terms of revenue, but your best year in terms of time. Time back with your family. More time to do the work that is in your zone of genius. Only taking the clients that you like. And more money in your pocket. It's all at the Maximum Lawyer Conference. Max LawCon is a 2-day event on Thursday, June 2nd and Friday, June 3rd in St. Charles, Missouri. Seats are filling fast. Grab yours today at www.maxlawcon2022.com.
Well, it comes down to your call to actions. So your call to actions on your websites, whether it be a landing page or your main site in itself, is what you want people to do. So by using the opposite color of the color wheel of the dominant color on your site, you can actually make a magnet that the eye will be drawn to. Here's an example of a very basic page. It's like an aqua blue color is the dominant color on that page. And you really don't see, your eye isn't drawn anywhere in particular. You're probably drawn to the picture of the person because we always associate things with faces. However, if we make one slight little change and change that button color to the opposite of that aqua blue on the color wheel, all of a sudden, everybody's eye is jumping right to that button. So you're actually can take somebody who lands on a page and force their eye to go there. Their eye is going to want to go there. You're just slowly leading them along by changing that color. So you can see in the side-by-side comparison, it is obvious how much that call to action is jumping out at you. So you can use this to your advantage. If you do this on your site, I guarantee you will see a drastic increase in whether it's form fills or click to calls, whatever the call to action that you have, it will go up. And it is just a physiological response to that color change. Their eye will be drawn there more and they will automatically go and take that action. So one thing to keep in mind though, is that you can't use that opposite color too much. When you use it, it dilutes the effect. So now there's all those colors along the bottom, and now your eye can jump there. Remember, 3 times a second, your eye is moving, it's capturing new information. So when you have too much of it, your eye has other places to jump, so they're not drawn just to your CTA, to your button. So remember, on the RGB color wheel, you want to have whatever your dominant color is that's on your site, and it can be any color that you have. Most lawyer sites, it's probably going to be blue, because you guys all love blue for some reason. If it was blue, your opposite is going to be orange. If anybody's ever seen any signs for JetBlue at the airport, there's a reason why all the JetBlue signs where you have to know what ticket counter to go to are in orange, because the rest of all their signage is blue. And so they know this, and they've made it so that you will get to the right place to get your ticket and get on your flight. So you want to reserve that CTA color. Now, this effect will still work, say you don't really like the exact color that's across on the color wheel. You can actually reserve the 2 slices on either side of that color and use one of those as your CTA if it fits better with your branding or the theme on the page, or if your designer's a little stubborn, because sometimes we can be that way. So just reserve those and don't use those anywhere else on your site but for your call to actions. You want to keep those and reserve them. One last tip for you guys, because I know everybody's looking to get to lunch. Do not become beholden to your logo colors. The amount of times somebody had a logo made up and they come to me and they say, well, this is what we want to use for our website. And it takes none of this stuff into practice. You're better off either redoing your logo colors or leave that just as the logo on your letterheads. And your stuff that's digital can either be a monochrome logo, or you can use something that's going to help you along these ways. You don't want to waste money, especially if you're putting this on landing pages. You're paying to get somebody there to take that action, to engage with that CTA. You don't want to waste money by not using a complementary color and not using it anywhere else. So hopefully that brought some clarity to you guys on why sometimes colors matter and the tricks that your eye can play when you're using colors, especially on screens with your websites. I will be around. I know we're going to be breaking for lunch any minute. I will be around if you have any questions. If you want one of those fidget poppers, just stop by the booth. We've got a ton of them. I'd like to not take them on a plane back home. And I'm sure your kids will love them. So thank you very much for having me today.
Thanks for listening to the Maximum Lawyer Podcast. To stay in contact with your hosts and to access more content, go to MaximumLawyer.com. Have a great week and catch you next time.